Let's reset our nervous system. Pause and take a breath with me. And let Spirit hype you up today. So we're going to pull one card for what you're already doing really well and deserve to celebrate for yourself for that you're not currently seeing. And then this card will be for what is it that you need to work on, do more or less of, to sort of elevate the results of your goals, or to maintain it at least. Okay, so first, here's what you've been doing really well that you're not realizing. Releasing all the guilt, or rather sitting in it, is what I'm getting as well, because it's upright. So it's like you're able to sit with and embrace, and that's a part of the transmutation of the energy, right? If we suppress something, if we are in denial of what we feel, and if we shame ourselves, criticize ourselves for feeling that way in the first place, that only prolongs the negative feelings and the side effects of, right, like then holding on to those, suppressing those negative emotions, not processing them in a healthy and self-loving way, is what creates the trauma stored in your body and what creates sickness, illness, disease. So you've been doing really good at keeping a mentally healthy state. That means that you're accepting and embracing all of your negative feelings just as much as a positive. You're keeping a good balance in that. You're embracing your darkness, and this is what's bringing about your healing. You're doing a lot better at this than you think. Sometimes when we're healing a wound, we think that it's not good enough until we become that version of ourselves that's already fully healed. And so they want you to know that you don't need to be fully healed to be successful, to receive the abundance and the gifts that come from facing our wounds and our traumas. There is, little blessings and gifts along the way. It doesn't only happen at the destination, right? It's all about the journey. So give yourself a lot more credit, and it is good. It is good that you're sitting with all of your negative emotions, letting yourself feel them, because you got to feel it to heal it, and that's what you're doing a great job at already. So keep up with that. And next, we're covering something that you can do more or less of to work on or to maintain and keep up this the good momentum of this transmuted energy that you got already going. Right, so here we have energized, but it's in reversed, right? So I feel like it's exhausting, and it's draining at first, but they want you to know that you will get to that point where you'll be energized by doing it, and you'll end up celebrating every little negative thing that happens to you. Like, yes, I got into a car accident today, and now it's an opportunity to have to go and upgrade my car even better than it was before, or whatever. Okay, I wanted to take that example even further in a scenario where you're not even able to upgrade your car and you have to walk or you have to take the bus, and you know what, you can still celebrate that. You can still celebrate the fact that I get to add a little bit more of enjoying nature into my morning routine. I get to add a little bit more of taking in the moment and my neighborhood, or talking with strangers, and that can be a nice side effect or a blessing in disguise that came from something that you didn't want. Or you could celebrate the fact that, well, this means that I get to cut down on the bags that I carry, and I have to travel really lightly, and that and I get to release and let go of all of these things that I didn't always need or that are weighing me down, and I can live a lot more freer, lighter, and in the present moment, because of these moments that force us to slow down or to reflect or to recreate our routine, right? Like, if it forces me to have to wake up earlier, that can be a good thing too, or I get to start my day earlier, I get to go to sleep earlier and feel more well rested or more energized throughout our day, because the universe is putting us in these situations so that it could be reflected back to us, all the ways and beliefs and actions that are not really in alignment, and that's why they're so draining to us, because the universe is trying to tell us and to show us that there's something that needs to be changed, or something we just need to make a little bit of an adjustment, right? We need to take a little bit of a detour, or like we just need to tweak something here and there. But ultimately, although it was something that was unexpected, it pushes us to create something that's more in alignment, that is higher vibrational for us than we thought, right? So because the universe can see more than we do,
the universe knows all, and so therefore we got to trust where the universe takes us, because our plan for ourselves and our lives is not always truly what is best for us. What we want is not always what we need, right? So this is what I'm talking about. It's in these moments where you set your goals, you rewire your beliefs to align with those goals, you take actions that align with that, and then it still doesn't work out. Then it's in these scenarios that you know that the universe had to step in and redirect you to something that is actually or truly in more alignment or higher vibrational than what you had planned for yourself. And that's when it's time to surrender. That's when it's time to surrender instead of to fight and hold on to control and perfectionism and make everything go according to your plan, creating all of this resistance with what the universe is trying to prepare you for, this blessing that you don't see coming. So Source is asking you to, just like you're surrendering to and embracing all of your dark side, your negative emotions, you're also being called to surrender to all of the negative circumstances that you have no control over, and to trust that it is serving a higher purpose that you don't even have to understand and know how and why. You just have to trust, and to keep going, to keep taking action with that trust and that belief that it is for your highest good. This is going to help to energize you and release any resistance. That's going to decrease how drained you feel, and this is how you keep this positive transformation energy flowing more easily and accelerating, because you've removed all energetic resistance by basically getting out of your own way, by releasing the need for control, because the universe has got your back, and because you trust yourself, you got your own back. So I think the key message here is to see you and the universe as your equal, to see the universe as an extension of you, as a reflection of you, and not something that is above and outside of you. Yeah, that's how the universe wants to hype you up, by making you remember that you are them and they are you, and that all the beautiful, amazing, miraculous things that you think the universe is capable of, you have that same magic and light within you. To see yourself as you see the universe, this is how Source wants to hype you up. Yeah. So catch yourself anytime a limiting belief of like the universe not having your back comes up, right? Like the universe working against you in some sort of way. Know that is a part of the illusion of separation, and to not listen to that inner voice, because the universe is unconditional love, and therefore you are unconditional love. That's why all of the good and the bad and the ugly exist, because the universe has unconditional love for all things. The universe is all things. So that's why it's so powerful that you embrace all aspects of your life and of yourself, like all the negativity, right? That's a part of the transformation, because that's a part of the integration, healing the illusion of separation and cultivating integration. This is what you are doing. This is what you're awakening to and are going to do more and more of. And I feel very excited for you. I feel very proud of you. This is how the universe sees you. This is how the universe wants you to see yourself, as multifaceted, as infinite, and as unconditional love.
You know, like, tell yourself that there's only good things that come from all experience in your life, no matter how negative that is. And that's how, eventually it is draining, because our body and our minds are not used to holding on to maintaining such a high vibrational frequency. And so in the beginning, whenever we're in that higher frequency, it does feel draining, because our body needs to catch up. Our body needs to catch up, because it's the consciousness that elevates and awakens first, and then the body aligns, right? So you're in that in between state where in the beginning it's a lot more draining, but they're reassuring you that the more and more that you continue, the more and more energized that you will be by these moments, right? When you sit in these moments, it's not going to be as draining and taxing. It's going to get a lot easier, because the more and more that you sit with it and process it, the less triggering that it will be in the future, and the more quicker that you're able to process it, because you're more familiar with the specific words that you need to hear, or you're more familiar with them. How to mother and or father yourself, and it becomes more natural. Right now it's a little bit draining, because it's not as natural. It's not second nature, right? But this is a skill, right? This confidence, this self-love, this emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, this is all a skill. And communication also, right? This is all a skill that you may not have been good at before, but that doesn't mean that you cannot learn. All right, so give yourself more credit, allow yourself to be a beginner, to be, you know, somebody who's somebody who doesn't have it all together, and that's okay. And that's okay. And like there's got to be such huge acceptance around all the stages of your life and like all of the aspects of yourself, right? Because everything passes, everything is temporary. So the more and more that we embrace the current circumstances or what we used to identify with, the more easier that it is to transform it, to let go of it, to regulate it, right? When we accept how we feel, that's basically how we regulate the emotions. So all right, I tried to make it a little shorter, but that's fine, you know. I accept that I had the goal to make it shorter and it went a little longer than I intended, and I celebrate that, because let's celebrate that, right? Because if it happened that way, if it didn't happen as planned, then that means the universe had a better plan, and that there was more or less that needed to be said or done. And right, so everything that happened in the way that it did was for divine timing and for divine purpose. All right, and the more that we trust that, the less resistance that we create with the universe. We're able to go into a more flow state with the universe, because we're not fighting the energies, we're not fighting our emotions, we're not fighting the circumstances, right? 7:44 on the clock, right? So continue to embrace and sit with whatever comes your way, and trusting and knowing that that too will pass. All right, and eventually it's not going to be as hard, it's going to get easier. And so allow yourself to practice, allow yourself to learn, and without criticizing how imperfect those beginning stages may be, right? It's going to be really hard in the beginning, but that's normal, right? So nurture yourself and remind yourself that this is all a normal part of the process, right? So don't demonize, because if you feel that way, then right, that's how you feel. And it's important not to demonize your feelings or circumstances. It's also important not to victimize yourself, right? So to find that balance, we start to accept, we see the love and light in everything that is. That's why I say it is very healing, even though it feels delusional, to like just start celebrating even the negative things in our life, right? And just like ask yourself, ask the universe, what is the good that could come from this? Because you're opening yourself, the universe is just a reflection. So you're opening yourself to the good that can come from things. That's what you will begin to see back, right? And if you're looking for the negative, you're focusing on the negative, believing that's all that it was for, or that exists, then that's what you will see. So be mindful of that, be intentional of that, and you will go a lot farther and a lot quicker than you think towards your goals, right? Your healing process, like it's not a race, right? But the more and more that we embrace it and create less resistance, the easier that it will be, the faster that our progress and our healing will be. So you're already doing good. You just got to remember to keep it up and to keep like rooting for yourself, cheering yourself on while you're at it, rather than criticizing. Be mindful of that self-criticism and be your biggest cheerleader. That's the biggest thing. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. 10:44 on the clock. Yes, guys, the universal law is love. Believe that, and that's what you will see in your reality. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I love you. Love yourself most of all, and have a great rest of your day. Oh, and I had to add on, like this beautiful woman said.
All of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you see.
No matter what is looking back at you, because that's what you deserve. Unconditional love. And that's what the universe is. 12:12. Ooh, yes. All right. Now, actually, yes, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Love you and love yourselves first and foremost. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.